Hi, I'm Dustin Perry. I'm the CEO of Kingfisher Metals.
I'm Gayle Febbo VP Exploration for Kingfisher.
And we're here today to give you another update on drill results. We've just released the balance of our drill results, the remaining ones for the initial drill program on the Cloud Drifter trend. So without further ado, we're going to get into some more technical aspects of this release. So these results are from the initial drill program at the Cloud Drifter trend. Cloud Drifter trend is our most advanced target within the 487 square kilometer Goldrange project, which is located in southwestern British Columbia. So Goldrange is a Cretaceous age orogenic gold system. It's brand new. It's a grassroots discovery. The area was first sampled in 87 and 88. Soil sampling was completed, a little bit of mapping, but not much. Very poor understanding of the system, but the initial signs are really promising, and that's why we picked it up. And what we did in 2020 as a private company was we went in there, infilled the soil samples, final soil survey over 3 by 2 kilometers, had 50 samples over 1 gram per ton gold, grading up to 22 grams. We also collected over 300 rock samples, grading over 6 grams per ton. And then did some other work such as backpack drilling at the standard zone, which still remains undrilled with a proper drill rig. And there we drilled 10.84 grams per ton over 6.9 meters from surface. So the signs, the clues were there, and we went and tested our theory this past summer, and that resulted in a number of really nice intercepts. So previously released intercepts include 6.88 grams per ton over 9 meters in hole 7. In hole 14, we drilled 73.4 grams per ton over 1 meter, which we really like because it's showing that there's potential for really high grades here. And then in this release, now we've announced 18.69 grams per ton over 2 meters. That starts at 14 meters depth on an angled hole. So it really is at surface. So it's great seeing these grades across a broad area. One key aspect of this anomaly, as you can see here in this image, we focused in the Cloud Drifter zone, which our drill program really took up about 10% of the greater anomaly. But we covered a lot of vertical, as you can see here. Drilling hit gold, anomalous gold mineralization, over 500 meters of vertical extent, while only testing about 10% of the aerial extent of this anomaly. As you can see here, the Cloud Drifter trend, that area, that 10% that we tested, there's a lot of other targets, a lot of room to grow here. But now we've hit some really nice high-grade hits. We're showing that the system is robust. With all the gold anomalism, we're showing that it's real, and there's a large gold system at play here, and that's what this soil anomaly has identified. But what we like is we can go back and follow up and step out this year on a lot of these nice intercepts we've already hit, but then there's a lot of room to find more of them. Very quickly, I'm going to let Gayle go into the geology and talk about our drill results, but one thing I want to point out is that within this small area we drilled this year, the majority of drilling was focused on these upper pads, which targeted the upper diorite intrusion. We were focused on that because we had a better handle on the geology based on a little more exposure up there. But the key take home here is that we were drilling undercover in the forest. We weren't setting up right above a vein and drilling it. A lot of this drilling was conceptual. We're really pleased with the results for a conceptual program. So Gayle, I'll let you get into it now.
Yeah, as Dustin mentioned, this is a fairly large concept we were testing. And, we had some clues for the geology from a bit of outcrop, but we really didn't know what to expect. So we were really happy to see the kind of broadly anomalous gold, especially in the upper diorite. A lot of smoke, really healthy gold system, in my opinion. And what we were surprised to find are these high-grade hits. So these aren't something we were predicting or targeting. We were testing a big concept, and we were really happy to be getting these. So in the previous releases, we had some in this lower quartz diorite, such as that 6.88 over 9 meters. And then in hole 14, the ounce hit over a couple meters. And then in this news release, now we're demonstrating we've got high grade in the upper diorite as well, 6.78 over 6 meters. So it looks really nice to see a high grade kind of throughout. What we're really focused on is, we're getting a lot of this gold over a large area. So what we're interested in is what's the plumbing to the system? What does that look like? And that's what I think these high grade hits are. And that's corroborated quite a bit by the geometry. So a lot of the gold we're seeing that's focused on the lith boundaries in this upper diorite, some of the examples are, 0.6 grams over 16 meters in hole 4. These are really focused on the boundary, and what these are really representing are discrete veins over a good area. And that's an indication that these fluids are moving laterally. And what we know about these systems is that there is a plumbing, there's a feeder that brings those fluids up, and then they move laterally. So we can see there's a large system here. And what we are needing to spend more work on in future programs is, where are these steeper structures? So if you go to the next slide. So yeah, the previous is more looking at the diorite intercepts. But as we go down the hill, what we see is, for whatever reason, the quartz diorite, we don't see as much gold focused right on the contacts. What we've found are what appear to be steeper structures as well as high grade. And we think we're getting into more of a feeder type feature. And one of the reasons that we think that is that in these contact controlled mineralization styles, we see more discrete veins. And then in these higher grade zones, what we see are breccia and just, hydrothermal material. That's pretty consistent with that interpretation.
Yeah, and I will note, one of the reasons we didn't do a lot of drilling lower down the mountain, there was a few reasons. One was, we started up high because we had more control on that, and we wanted to work down the mountain due to weather. You generally you drill your highest elevation pads earlier if possible and move down towards fall. But we were really limited by pad building last summer. It was a major handicap. For example, our geological crew built one of our last drill pads. We put a pad down lower on the mountain, this final hole. You can see they had the really high grade intercept on it. That was picked earlier on, but we weren't really able to adjust on the fly, which is why we didn't actually follow up on hole 7, which we will in the near future here in the next couple months. But what we like lower down is this quartz diorite unit, and we're seeing a lot of evidence for it really extending. So this image here shows that lower drill pad with a helicopter pad next to it. You can see those high grade hits, the 73 grams. We're in deep forest cover. But this intrusion, this lower quartz diorite intrusion, we have evidence for it extending quite a long ways. So it's mapped over 1,300 meters strike length, as you can see here. And about 400 to 600 meters east of it from that brecciated intercept, you're seeing really nicely mineralized intrusive samples that we highlighted last year, but we just, due to pad building, we weren't able to get down there and drill them last year. This style of mineralization, as Gayle just alluded to, is not discrete veins. It's either brecciated or stockworked or disseminated mineralization. It really looks like something that could have some significant bulk to it and some width to it, but the grade is there, as evidenced by our drill intercepts so far. And these hand samples you can see here, this on the left is over 9 grams, over 6 grams on the right. And this looks very similar to the drill core we got from the brecciated intervals. So, we're really excited to test this in the forest this year. Gayle, do you have anything to add on this?
Yeah, it's a few hundred meters away, from the drilling that we've done so far. So it's quite a large area of infill that really we've just got a whiff of right now. And, we don't see this style yet in the upper intrusion. And that's something we really have to work on is, where is this plumbing? Where do these vertical features come up and connect these two systems? Because we have clearly like two focuses, in the upper and then the lower diorite. And these are obviously a connected system. And so that's kind of what we're after, is building continuity in that hydrothermal system and understanding those feeder structures.
Yeah, exactly. With all that in mind, we've really just got going here at the Cloud Drifter Trend. Initial results are really encouraging. We're seeing broad widths. Some of them are at economic grades. We're also seeing really high grade potential. So what we're going to be chasing here is high grade. That appears to be where this system works. And the lower quartz diorite intrusion seems to be the best host. We are going to follow up on the really nice intercept we just hit, about over half an ounce, over 2 meters. But we're really going to focus on trying to define these lower intrusions where we see really good evidence for a little more mass, a little more bulk, holding really good grades of gold. So it's going to be an exciting season. Not to mention, we're going to be getting back to standard where we backpack drilled before. We're going to get over to Langara and we're going to get to day trip. We're going to talk about all these other targets in a lot more detail here over the coming weeks leading into the drill program, but it's going to be a really exciting drill program this year. So thanks for listening in, and we'll talk to you next time.